Over the course of the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to talk you through how you as a fire and security business owner can grow your business to get more commercial customers and to become the default choice of contractor in your local area. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, firstly, I focus only on fire and security companies. I only focus on this industry. I don't work with anyone else. What I'm about to tell you, these systems are implemented by the top fire and security companies around the country. And these systems are what I currently implement for my clients and customers. So like I said, I only work with fire and security companies, so I feel well poised to answer this question and provide value to business owners like yourself. So I'd suggest that you, for 5 to 10 minutes, sit down to perhaps take some notes about the systems that I'm going to talk about, so you can start to get an idea of what you need to implement in your business to grow and to get to a place where you are the default kind of dominant company in your local area. So here's to your prosperity, and enjoy the video. So if you're watching this video, then you probably have a certain problem. And that problem is the fact that you lack certainty as to what you should invest in to get a return on investment and to get those high quality commercial customers for your business. I'm going to help you solve this throughout the course of this video, and I'm going to talk you through the systems which I use and I help my clients use to solve this problem. What I'm going to start with is the mindset that you should have. We have to understand that firstly, you do not sell installations. You don't sell the equipment, you don't sell the manufacturers you work with, and you don't sell your accreditations. What you sell is reliability. The kind of high value customers that you want aren't necessarily looking for the cheapest, of course. They're looking for someone who can service them for years to come. So this kind of long-term relationship is what you want to aim for with the clients that you work with. And this is going to help because in the future, you're not going to have to invest a bunch in getting new clients in because you're getting repeat business and referrals. When a customer is looking to work with a particular business, they make two decisions. What is the risk associated with working with you, and what is the value that you provide? You want to position yourself as a low risk, high value contractor. Now we're going to move on to the second step. How do you position yourself as a less risky option for someone to choose? We want to build something like your website. A good website, it doesn't have to be a beautifully designed website. It just needs to list the right things. It needs to list what your customers want to know, which we're going to talk about later. You want to have a brand presence, so you ideally should have some social media channels, and you also want to have a presence outside of your website. You want people to be mentioning your name. You want to have links going to your website. You want to have mentions in the news, that kind of thing, in local newspapers. By building these, you effectively start to build the foundation of like 24/7 sales rep that's going to be working constantly to convince random visitors that come to your website to buy your services, to give you potentially thousands of pounds for a new installation and to work with you ongoing in the future, right? So we can talk about this more in the kind of trust signals. So this is number 3, this is the third step. So pertaining to what you should actually have on your website, we want to be building trust. So we want to show trust signals, showing, for example, the case studies that you have, the testimonials, and even off your website, you want to be pushing for reviews. And having reviews and these trust signals is going to be hugely important in convincing someone that you are the right business to work with. And this is what I talk about when I say de-risking. It's going to show your potential customers that you are a low-risk option to work with. They do not want to work with a very risky, they don't want their investment to go down the drain. They want their investment of potentially thousands and in the future of tens of thousands of pounds to be valuable, right? Obviously, yes, you will have accreditations. You list the manufacturers you work with. That's what you add to your website to add value to your offering, to your brand. But you want to sufficiently de-risk by adding these trust signals. So going on to step 4 then, how you actually get these trust signals. And this is something I'd recommend you as a business owner do. Spend some time every week. Have a slot of time that you work with. It could be the weekends. It could be a certain day of the week. That you sit down for around 1 hour to 2 hours and you do the following things. First of all, you push for new reviews. You try to ask your customers to leave some reviews on your Google business page. You ask for testimonials. Number 2, you write case studies. So you take the time to recall some of your previous projects and you write some case studies to talk about how you took someone from a state where I had a problem, where they were in pain, and you implemented your systems and processes and you gave them a solution and they were happy at the end of it. You write a case study that positions this kind of story and you put it on your website. You can use ChatGPT to help you with this to get this done quickly. Another thing which you should do is you should start to take more photos and record content. Now, you don't have to be a Mr. Beast style of making crazy videos. You just have to show your face a bit more. You have to show your team, even though your team maybe doesn't want to get into videos, that's fine. You should show how it is to work with your company. That's what you want to show. Showing photos of your installations is good, but video is even better. Video is an engaging format that can keep people hooked and engaged for longer. Adding videos to your website is a hugely important thing in terms of pushing for conversions, because people who go to websites with videos tend to stay longer and are much more likely to become a customer. So recording those videos is important. You don't have to be an expert, you just have to try and do it consistently. On LinkedIn especially, I specialize in LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn to grow my own business, and I know for a fact that LinkedIn can provide and is providing a lot of companies with high value contracts, right? And it's all about positioning your business on LinkedIn. You don't have to have a crazy flashy brand. In fact, I'd probably recommend you don't have that. What I'd recommend is more so you position yourself as an authority and an expert by talking about what you're most knowledgeable about, i.e. fire and security systems and installations. So you talk about this on your LinkedIn, and every week you will send out 100 connection requests to your potential customers and clients. You probably won't be reaching out to them, but what you will be doing is you will be exposing them to your content. If you're connecting to them, just plain and simple, and you're posting content to LinkedIn, they will eventually see your content, and this is how they will get in touch with your brand and start to notice you online. This is how you start to build your digital presence. Now, your online presence is a very broad strategy. It needs to encompass a whole bunch of things. So you also need to be working on your network. And this is partially why LinkedIn is so useful, because it's a way to expand your network. The way you get these opportunities to be featured in, let's say, local newspapers is by having a decent sized network. So you are putting yourself out there in trade shows, you're going to these networking events, and you are literally just being a likable person, showing your expertise and just talking to people to position yourself as an authority, right? This is word of mouth marketing, but this is scaled up with LinkedIn. So that's why you should spend some time every week to plan out what you want to be doing, to be sending connection requests, to asking for reviews, to responding to reviews, and writing out case studies. Make sure you can do this. So 2 hours, an hour every week, this is what you need to start doing. Now, the thing after this, right, is focusing on doing this consistently. So we're in this for the long term. We're not looking for quick fixes and short-term spikes. We're looking for long-term foundational business growth that is going to exponentially turn you into the default choice in your local area. So we have to focus on doing this consistently. So this 2 hour slot that you select, you have to make sure that it's one that you can commit to for potentially years. And if you're able to do this, and if you are working on this for years and you actually take the right actions, then it is guaranteed that you will succeed. This consistency, this constantly building up and brick by brick building a kind of skyscraper that is your business, this empire, is going to require you to have consistent effort in doing the task which you wouldn't normally be doing, but the equally important task of building your online presence. So consistency, right? Now, finally, what is the end thing? What is the final thing which you should be doing? And that is to have a feedback loop. So that's to be constantly looking at your results. You want to be doubling down on what works. If you find out that one of the strategies which I've recommended to you is not working, you've been trying it for months and it's not working, then pivot. There's no point doing something which the data objectively shows is not working. You want to look at what is working and do more of that. Simple. And a really good way to do this, especially in the beginning, right? This kind of analysis. In fact, I'd recommend actually this be done in the beginning as well, is to analyze your top competition in your local area. So do a simple search on Google for fire alarms in, your location, see what businesses come up, and take a look at their online presence. Take a look at if they have any news mentions. Do they have case studies on their website? How is their website structured? What is their director doing on LinkedIn, for example? How many reviews do they have on their Google business page? Where are they located? All of these factors are what culminates into a holistic, solid online presence. So by building these things, by looking at what the top players are doing and building them for yourself, is a surefire way to grow your business, right? So by doing this kind of routine analysis, I'd say every month, if you can set aside some time every month, perhaps the first day of the month, you take a look at your metrics, your analytics, you see what's working, what's not working, then you can go ahead and choose what you should double down on and do more of. So with these 5 things, this is pretty much the bread and butter of what you should be doing in 2025 to grow your fire and security companies, to get these commercial customers. And this is based on what I've seen the top companies doing. Now, obviously, this may differ from place to place, but it's important that you at least try. You set aside some time to try and implement these things and to really look at what's working and what's not working. And if you can do that and you can commit to it for months, years, then you will be successful and you will grow a fire and security empire, right? If that's what we want in the end. So if you want help implementing this, or if you just want someone to bounce ideas off, just send me a message and I will get back to you. We'll have a kind of no strings attached conversation and I can help you get to a position where you're really happy with your digital marketing. Thank you for listening to this video and have a nice rest of your day.